Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce myself. My name is Angelica Aninditha Kanya Putri, and I'm a student at LSPR Communication and Business Institute, majoring Public Relation, under the supervision of Mr. Bonar Sirait as my mentor and lecturer. Ladies and gentlemen, do you realize that sexual harassment is getting worse, and we need to pay more attention to it? Many people say that sexual harassment only happens to a woman in a quiet place, alone at night, and wearing sexy mini clothes. But no, that's totally wrong. In fact, sexual harassment more often occurs during the day, and the type of clothing the victim wears is not a significant factor. And it can be happen on a street, in the office, in a restaurant, at school, on campus, basically anywhere, anytime. According to data from the county's National Commission on Violence Against Women, there were 46,698 cases that occurred in both personal and public domains against women. Of that number, 23,021 cases occurred in the public domain, including 9,039 cases of rape, 2,861 cases of sexual harassment, and 91 cases of cybersex crime. Now, let's talk about the victims. The victim doesn't have to be of the opposite sex. It can be men or women. And here's 4 types of sexual harassment: verbal or written, non-verbal, physical touch, and visual, such as physical acts of sexual assault, verbal harassment including jokes referring to sexual acts or sexual orientation, unwanted touching or physical contact, unwelcome sexual advances, discussing requests for sexual favors, exposing oneself or performing sexual acts, unwanted sexual explicit photos, and many, many more. Why do people sexually harass others? Most people who harass others do so in a conscious or unconscious way to express dominance, power, or only for personal satisfaction. Experiencing sexual harassment may cause some survivors to face emotional, physical, or mental health concerns. It also makes you feel unsafe, offended, intimidated, and embarrassed. Some of them might be anger, fear, guilt, anxiety, stress, depression, loss of motivation, and suicidal ideation, and many, many more worse effects. So, never underrated sexual harassment. Please be more aware of sexual harassment, because there are many victims of sexual harassment who are humiliated and do not get any support. We must change this stigma together. The question is, how long do we want to normalize sexual harassment? Remember, this can be happen to us anytime, anywhere. I hope that there will be no more victims of sexual harassment. And for those of you who have experienced sexual harassment, please don't be afraid. Just remember that you are not alone and you have the right to fight and speak up. Because sexual harassment is never a joke. So, stop sexual harassment, and it's time for a better world. My name is Angelica Aninditha, and thank you for listening.